I'm on an adventure. Now, that might sound childish, but I look at life as an adventure intentionally. I've trained myself to go, I'm going to live an adventure. And I look for keys all the time in people's lives. What's the key to that person's heart so they'll discover God's love? What's the key? And now for me, I had to remember, I came out of a depressed worldview. I had to intentionally say, I'm going to intentionally, this is how the Bible tells us, we're supposed to seek and save those that are lost. Jesus is after this, so this has to be enjoyable, not depressing. Most people, I never want to seek and save the lost. They're just mean people. Well, did any of you get saved later in life? Okay, well, you weren't that fun to be around before you knew Jesus.
No.
And someone decided to be kind to you and reach out to you. And so you're now the person that gets to do that with other people. Don't expect unsaved people to be anything except unsaved. But everyone's created in the very image of God, and so there's keys. Okay? So it's your choice, but the Bible basically says that you should look at life as an adventure. And that there are keys. Okay? But you have to decide. So, hopefully as I'm writing this down, you guys are taking notes, but I want you to do this. If you're writing what I'm saying, I want you to take those 4 categories and begin to put them out in your life and now start looking at them. You don't have to do it tonight because I'm not giving you questions that have to do with this, but I want you to start thinking about these areas of your life. Instead of just letting them happen to you, I want you to start asking yourself questions like, what do I want in this situation? Now, does that seem ungodly to you guys? When I turn around and I tell Christians, God says you need to choose what you want, most people go, no, I don't think the way the universe works, God lets me make a choice. That is not true. Do you guys think God's trying to keep you from something outside of sin? Okay. Okay, I know this is kind of intense and radical and all that other stuff. So, think about this. What we're developing right now, I'm telling you intentionally, what we're working on when we talk about this is the setting the goals and the strategy. We're now changing the way we think about the world we live in, and we're stop letting the circumstances define us, and we're now saying, I'm going to take control of my life with God because He's given me the energy to go that direction. Questions or comments? Statements.
Every one of those 4 categories, person, relationship, business, and world, connects you with people.
Mm-hmm. Except the first one.
Yourself as a person, you mean?
No, the first question was, how do you want to be spiritually? So the very first question I asked you is, how do you want to relate to God?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So what were you going to... I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead. Did you want to say something or ask a question?
No, it was still as we're relating to God.
Yes.
And then there's going to be something that will have us do too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, with people.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't just get to go be on an island with Jesus and do nothing. Isn't that great? Yes.
So are you working in all of those areas simultaneously?
No, what you're going to end up doing, here's what we're doing, is we're heading towards what we would call a mission for our life. Okay? So when we begin to look at these things and we ask, how do I want to be spiritual? You're literally looking at them and you're coming to, here's what I want. Now, most people think, well, I can't work it on these all the time. Yes, you can. You're a little more awesome than we perceive ourselves as being. So we all think about different things throughout the day anyways. So instead of just thinking about them and never coming to a resolution, what we need to do is actually sit down and say, this is what I want, and then plan my life accordingly. Are you ready? Can I work on my relationships as I run a business? And can I say, in my business, here's my intention, but when I relate to this person, this is how I'm going to treat them? Can I carry those two at the same time? So I can intentionally plan, I'm going to treat everybody this way, even though I'm trying to build my business and do this. Or can I say, well, I value friends, and so here's the kind of friends I want to have. Can I actually have friends, work on my own emotional health, exercise at the same time as I'm building a business and treating the world kindly? Can I do all those things by defining how I'm going to do it? What do you think, Heidi?
Yeah.
How did Heidi do that? How did she get you to answer the question?
Because ask.
No, I'm teasing Heidi. I'm sorry, CJ. All right, so what do you think, Heidi? Now, think about this. When I'm asking all these questions of the group, like I'm going to have you answer a bunch of questions, all I'm doing is just taking different categories right here and saying, okay, well, now think about it. Okay, let's just take something simple. If you want to grow in your prayer life, do you have to do something to cause that to happen?
Yes.
Like, give me an example. What would if I decided from a year from now, here's what I want my prayer life to be, what would I have to do to get there?
Set aside time in order to develop that.
Okay.
Maybe study with somebody else or pray with somebody else who knows how to do it. Be putting myself in position with other people.
Okay, but do I have to do that all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
No, but I have to intentionally.
So I have to intentionally do it. But even though I'm wanting to get closer to God, can I actually be nice to people in the process?
I would hope so.
That would be nice.
This is kind of like a holistic thing for your mission, because if you go on a mission, and use Jack Cole as an example, he was on a mission, but he really didn't consider the physical component, and so he really wasn't able to go the distance that he could have if he had also been a good steward.
Yeah. See, all these categories that are brought up to you, I broke them down for you, but the Bible talks about this thing called shalom. And shalom means wholeness in every area of life. So all I'm asking you is, do you believe God can give you wholeness in every area of your life?
Yes.
That when I say things like this to you guys, tell me if you understand what I'm saying. Can I actually love my children well to where my children rise up and call me blessed? I mean, is that possible? Can I treat people a certain way where people actually like being around me and I can recognize the blessing of God in my life? Is that possible?
Yes.
Okay. Can I actually be terrible at business and focus time and energy on learning how to do it to where I can actually do it well?
Yes.
Sure you can. This isn't some great mystery that only a few have been given, and the rest of us are standing on a desert island going, oh, please give me more than a dirt sandwich. Guys, God has given all these resources out there. They're just sitting in libraries and videos, and now YouTube has all this free resources. You can basically learn to do anything. I told you guys a month ago, do you remember when I was telling you that cute little story where I had to figure out how to fix a faucet in my shower? I call these guys on the phone. They're trying to help me. I finally pull it up on YouTube, and he just says, okay, take this out and do this. And so I literally kept going back and forth on the YouTube video, watching it, and then doing what it said, and I fixed it. Yes. Well, 5 minutes before that, I didn't have any of the knowledge to do that, and all I did was put 1, 2, 3 in practice like they told me to do, and it actually worked. Yes. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. That's right.
Now, see, when we say running a business, most people get blown away. Oh, I can't do that. Well, do you guys think running a business is some great mystery that you have put in your spleen that other people don't? Running a business is learning to do certain things well. And just put them in sequence and doing them. Same thing with relationships. I mean, why do we have these categories that are insurmountable? Oh, I can't do that in that arena. Well, you've already assumed that. doesn't mean God's limited it or He's kept it away from you. Hey guys, when I started Plumbline, I had zero clue on how to run a ministry. Zero clue. So I got around people that ran a ministry. I say, how do you do this? They'd give me an idea. I'd put it in practice. Oh, that works. I don't know how to advertise, so I started advertising.
Write a book and call it Zero Clue.
Yeah, and I put the things in advertising. It worked. Oh my gosh! Set up meetings. Call Pastor. Someone said, "Call Pastor on the phone and say you want to do this." So I call Pastor. Hey, I want to do this. I said, great, let's do it. All of a sudden, I had meetings. I mean, it's just not. There wasn't an angel that floated through the room, poked at a person in the face, and said, "Make Brian do a meeting." That doesn't work that way. At least for me.
Yeah.
Now, it isn't that God didn't talk to people and people open up opportunities and do stuff. I'm just telling you that God had certain things He wanted me to do. But I had to stop thinking that I couldn't do it. If the Bible's true, I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. That means all things. So that means when I have an area where I have no ability or the strength to do it, I go to God and go, give me the strategy and the ability to do it. And lo and behold, a book comes floating from some Christian author or secular author. And I go, how did that get to my house? And then I read the book and I get the knowledge and then I have to put it into practice. But did you guys ever try to get out of credit card debt? All right. You know, what I love about Dave Ramsey, which I don't listen to him that much anymore, but I used to listen to him, is people would say, I had $120,000 debt and I wiped it out in 2 years. And then they make the sound of them cutting their mortgage in half. And them talking about how's that possible? Well, it's just not that hard to wipe these things out. But most of the issue is our talk that we have with our, I can't do it, I can't do it, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, you've shot yourself in the foot before you've even started. So,